I'm Larry Taylor.
And I'm Keinya.
And you are joining us again with Tailor Made Conversations. And today's topic is education and motivation from the Gen Z perspective. And that really means I'm just going to be at the house and my mom and daddy going to fix me a sandwich for lunch. And then go get my dinner. And then going to call a maid to clean my room for me. So
That's the life.
see that? You see this? That's the Gen Z right there. That's the Gen Z. That's the life. Daddy, can I have some? No.
Can I have some money?
No. I saw this on.
You gonna get me some Chipotle?
No. Get you some Chipotle job. Get you a Chipotle job. I saw something on TikTok about this, right?
What you see?
And this guy did this reel. It said, these damn Gen Zers living in my house, talking about they grown and they don't have to listen. And he was like, no, people who don't have to listen don't live here. And they don't call me for nothing. And so if you want to show me your independence and you want me to stop asking you to do stuff, don't call and ask me for nothing.
Impossible.
See,
impossible. No. Y'all are parent. Like when you become a parent, you are your children. We gonna call you because at this point it's like we're here for something.
No.
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, dong, X, whatever they do. That's incorrect answer because the flip side of that is Generation X. In Houston, where I grew up, if you didn't have a hustle or a job by the time you were 10. We would say you were literally slow. Like something wrong with you. You're not hustling, you're not making money, you don't have a job. I got my first job, probably illegally, because I was underage. I was grilling burgers and making hot dogs and frying French fries and cleaning restrooms at 12. Not because I had to, but that's just what my generation did. We went out and worked. And I worked on weekends. When everyone was out partying, I was getting off at 12 and going home or catching them after the fact. But I had a job. And so, let's dig real deep into this.
Yeah.
This education and motivation. So, what about you and your job habits?
I quit jobs for breakfast. I just feel like my parents have money.
No.
So I don't really need to work. And this is a horrible mindset that I have, and I'm actually seeking course correction, but it's a habit, it's habitual, and it's very hard to break because I have mommy money. Daddy money is cool, but mommy money hit different. When your mama got money, it's like, oh my God, it's the life.
See there.
It's the life.
Look.
We're getting spoiled different.
I don't even know if I should air this because I don't want to contribute to any more of the mommy money discussions or the fact that we quit jobs for breakfast. How do you quit a job for breakfast when you don't wake up till lunch?
That is not true. My last job, I had to wake up at 7 a.m. and that's probably why I stopped going.
No, but you normally don't wake up until 11 or 12. So did you quit your job at 11 or did you wake up at 7 and quit?
No, I woke up at 6 a.m.
Oh, geez.
I got ready.
Uh-huh.
But it took me until like 7:30 to get ready. And I looked and I'm like, dang, it's 7:30. I don't even know if I should go. Like, it's pretty late. I'm showing up 30 minutes late. How is that going to look? So I just didn't go. And then the next day I got up at 6:15 and I was like, I'm finna be ready. And I still wasn't ready. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, but I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready. So I just stopped going.
Let us pray. Lord, remove the inability to wake up in time and get to work on time and get off our parents' dime.
Oh.
Amen.
I agree with everything to that last part.
Girl.
Off my parents' dime.
Yes, off your parents. You know what? Watch this. My parents stopped buying me school clothes in 8th grade.
I would cry.
In 8th grade, I made enough money to buy my own Jordans, to buy my own everything. And I told my parents, man, y'all ain't got to worry about this. If I need something like prom or something like that, I'll come to you. Other than that, I got to hustle. I'm good, right? I'm good. I work and do what I want to do. And so this mindset, I mean, we're gonna work on it.
We're gonna work on it,
yeah,
for
we're
sure.
gonna make that a project that we're gonna work on. But I will tell you this, that, and for anybody who tries to comment and says anything negative about my girl, you're gonna have to deal with me, because she has a great spirit, and a Oprah Winfrey, a real champion type personality. It's just pulling that out of her and understanding, how do you embrace this future leader and
sure.
this future CEO and innovator. How do you pull that out of her in order for her to really step in and fulfill her destiny? So
Yeah.
so she is a diamond in the rough.
In a rough for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she ain't even cold right now. It's like rocks. It's like a whole mountain around her. And so I got to go through this mountain and get to the cold, and then eventually finally get to the diamond.
But you know what I can say is I have been working since I was 15. When I was able to legally start working, I did start working. It's just I don't think I found my interest yet, because I keep quitting jobs. And it's like, maybe I just don't know what it is that I like to do. And so maybe that's why I keep doing it. But then my thing is, it's like, even when I do find something that I like to do, if I don't have the discipline to get there, then what?
That's what's so amazing about this discussion, because you actually analyze and know the issue.
Yeah, for sure.
But you just it's kind of like, you know what, as parents, you know how somebody drops a napkin on the floor and you didn't do it, and so you kind of leave it there to see how long it'll stay there, and then 2 weeks later, that napkin is still there. People walk around problems and issues. But I'm going to give you a story, and then we're going to change subjects. I had this job, and I always dress fly, right? And so I'm suited and booted, bow tie, fly as hell. I had a manager who wanted to put me down a peg. And so they asked me to go outside and pick up trash. Now watch this. I'm an investment banker. I'm not the teller. I'm not the regular banker. I move money. And not only do I move money, I'm one of the best in the company. Right? Best in the country. And you're asking me to go outside and pick up trash in the summer. And so I went outside and I started picking up trash, and I was pissed. Not even regular pissed. Not regular pissed. Super pissed. I was Marcus Garvey pissed.
Okay.
And I started picking up trash, and it just hit my heart that I have an opportunity, and I'm in a field that no one else who really looks like me is in. And I have someone who's trying to break me. And so I rejoiced in the fact that I am where I am.
Oh, okay.
And that what she meant to harm me is actually going to exalt me. And as sure as I started picking up trash and singing This Little Light of Mine, a customer came by. And they said, Larry, you're out here picking up trash? I said, well, I guess I'm out here and I'm picking up, you see me picking up trash, so I guess so. And he said, that's why you control my money. Because if you can humble yourself when you have others who are in the pecking order below you, and you can come out here in this heat and do it with such joy, that means that you will humble yourself and take care of my money and do what's necessary for my money, because you're doing what's necessary for this banking institution.
I like that. I really do. It's definitely a different perspective because when you were speaking, I was like, oh, I would have been gone in the vehicle, gone. I would have sped out the parking lot. So my question to you is, not quitting, what did that do for you in the long run?
It actually, that moment forged who I am today.
Wow.
And I actually work for my employees. I make sure that they're good, because if they're good, that ensures that I'm going to be good. And I work all the time. And a lot of people might see my Instagrams or see me at different places, like I was just at the Oscars. But I was at the Super Bowl. But those are 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours out of a 24-hour day. And those who really know me and around me know that the other 14 or 12 hours I spent working, even though I'm enjoying that moment. See, I get to enjoy moments, but my calling is to make sure that I work to do what's necessary to protect my clients and to make sure that the world that I live in is better. I want to do my part, and you have to work to do that.
For sure.
You have to work to do that. And so in that moment, I realized that this is not the ideal situation. But her telling me to pick up trash, is that a reflection on her trying to bully me, or a reflection on me not being able to overcome and do what I've been called to do?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So you and I, we gonna talk more and really work on this, because I think you are a superstar in the making. Plus, none of my proteges or mentees have not been successful. They worked in the White House, they worked in the state capitol, they become lawyers, they become partners of law firms.
Period.
So, I can't let you blemish my record, and so we're gonna work on this. So, saying that, you talked about going back to school.
Yes.
We're gonna spend a lot of time on this podcast praying. Education right now, and higher education, is probably as unstable as the stock market. As someone who's looking to go back to school, tell me what you know, and tell me kind of what you've seen or what you know about the Department of Education.
So, I'm going to be completely transparent. I had no idea what the Department of Education did before Trump dismantled it. That brought me to do a little research. And so I found out the Department of Education was founded in 1980. It emerged because of anti-poverty and civil rights movements that happened in 1960s and 70s, and its purpose was to strengthen the federal commitment to ensuring access to equal education opportunities for every individual. I didn't know that.
So, let's just make it plain. If I'm from rural America and my parents are farmers and sharecroppers, and I want to go to college, you're saying that the Department of Education ensures that I have the opportunity to seek a college degree?
Yes.
If I am from urban America and I'm living, where I'm from, the CUNY homes. I'm living in the CUNY homes, and you're saying that the Department of Education was set up to ensure that if I did what I needed to do, I would have the opportunity to get a college education.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's being dismantled.
What
else did you find out?
Oh. I found out that, let's go here. I did a little research, y'all. I found out that student loan services and civil rights enforcements are potentially going to be disrupted. I also found out that, let's go here, 600 people resigned from the Department of Education. However, 1,300 people were forced out. They were let go.
Wow.
They were forced out by, I did not get her name. They were forced out. Trump put in, oh my goodness, what is her, do you know her name?
You know what? Her name eludes me. I know who it was once before.
Okay.
During the first administration. But what we'll do is, in this segment, in this spot right here, we'll say the Secretary of Education, name inserted. We'll insert the name right there. We got a great producer, so he can do that. But I want to, before you move on, I want to talk about how real this is.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I found out that a good friend of mine and one of my doctors, who, female, her loans doubled because loan services doesn't know what to do. And so she was on a program that was based on income. And so because of the dismantling and the uncertainty, her loans have doubled. And it is causing tremendous stress.
I bet.
And then when you talk about civil rights, if you are a person of color or female, and you've been teaching at a university just as long, if not longer than anyone else, your credentials are great, you've written the papers, you've done everything that you need to do in order to get tenure, and you keep getting passed over for men, or there's no one of color on the faculty, and you have more, and people who have less than you have been given tenure. You now have nowhere to go within the Department of Education to get the assistance and get the reviews necessary in order to correct this. And it's sad because when you think about it, the whole thing is about attacking individuals' qualifications. If I'm black and I have a high position, if I'm black and I have a high position, why am I being questioned? If we're going to do a review of qualified people, let's review everybody. Why am I being picked out and saying, well, he must have gotten that because of this, right? He must have gotten that because of this. And so that's the scary part of what's happening with the Department of Education, because now millions of Americans will no longer be able to achieve that American dream of getting a higher education.
Exactly. And it's even more messed up for people like me who are young adults or even children coming out of high school who are wanting to go to college. What are they going to do? If you can't rely on FAFSA, if you can't rely on certain things, how are you going to continue your education? How are you going to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and become this great American citizen that everybody talks about being? How are you going to do that if you cannot heighten your education levels? It's just, and then my thing is, where are the billions of dollars going that is poured into the education system? Where are these billions of dollars going to go? Where's the money? Where's it going? He's talking about block grants, but my thing is, block grants, it's come to my awareness that the states that are going to get block grants, they can allocate those funds as they see fit. Just disperse it however they see fit. What if they don't see fit that it needs to go to the public education system? Then what happens to those children?
Or all the universities.
Or all the universities.
That's scary. That's extremely scary.
It's very scary and it's irritating because why are you attacking the Department of Education? What is the agenda? It's like I really want to know that. I want to know the underlying cause for this.
One of the biggest things throughout history, if you want to minimize people, you make sure that they're not educated. Mm. Because then the thing comes in, well, you're not educated enough to have this job. When you look at it, you have brilliant people who may be on a job, but they're looked over on promotions because they do not have a college degree. And so someone once explained to me that a college degree is basically a 4-year test to show that you have the wherewithal and the commitment to go through a rigorous program at the end and pass. And potentially get some ground level information on a discipline that you want to get into. So accounting, you have some of the basic principles of accounting. You learn how to use the software, the programs that are involved in accounting, and so that when you go to an accounting firm, they're not teaching you from ground one. They're just telling you how they utilize those programs. And so things like that are extremely important. And the danger is other countries, we are already not the most educated country.
Talk about it.
Other countries they already surpass us in education. And I'm not saying that because I'm unpatriotic. Patriotic has nothing to do with it. The numbers don't lie.
They don't.
And so the fact that you have individuals or countries that, as far as their education and how they educate their children and provide opportunities for higher education, exceeds us, puts us further behind. And that hurts us in the world market, because as we decide that we want to open up more industries, warehouses, potentially bring back circuit making to the U.S., who is going to run these companies if we're not educated to do it? And so it's very concerning and scary. And and for young people like yourself, I couldn't even imagine walking through this landmine that we currently have.
It seems like a dream. It seems like a horrible nightmare. Every single day you wake up is something else. Every single day you wake up is something else. It's something else. It's something else. And I feel like that's happening so that you can so that they can tire people out. Oh, I don't even want to fight no more. I don't want to do it no more. I don't care no more. We're not gonna stop caring because it affects us directly. We're gonna keep talking about it. We're gonna keep doing something until we finally do the something that's gonna get us to where we need to be regardless. You wanna attack the Department of Education, we gonna find a way. Hillman Talk University is a thing. Like that's literally a thing where professors of all different walks of education have come together on TikTok and have created this little university where they are actually giving syllabuses, they are assigning homework. We're learning regardless.
So that's a throwback, right? That's a throwback before HBCUs and before Black people were allowed to learn how to read. Mm. And so, there was a time where you basically had to take a test to see if you could vote. And so, as we continue to move forward and closing out on this segment, I want to just encourage everyone not to be discouraged.
Yeah.
Keep your head up, keep your eyes focused forward, and continue to work to try to make your dreams come true and to find your niche, right? To find where you need to be. Educate yourself. It can be in insurance. It can be like I did in the financial industry. Find you an industry that works for you, that you also care about, that you're also passionate about. And so I had been investing in since, before I got to high school and we took the investment class. And so that's always kind of been in my DNA. My cousin and I swore we were going to be stockbrokers. And so I ended up becoming one, and he ended up doing something different and left me hanging. So that's a whole nother story. But, man, stay encouraged. Keep focused on those things that you want to do because we need you. We need every American citizen to ensure that they are prepared for the future. Because when you're called on or when you're needed, we want to be able to call on you, and we want you to have those skill sets that can move us forward. And educate yourself.
Yes, that's the number one thing. Right now, you have to educate yourself because you can't depend on nobody else to do it.
So remember, like us, share us, and whatever else. What else we do? You like, you share. You know,
you subscribe.
Subscribe, man. Come on, see there. That's why you here. That is why you here. Because we had rotary phones.
Now, what is that?
What is a rotary phone? You know,
is that the flip phone? No, that's a Nokia. Right?
So many prayers on this show right here. What we gonna do? We're gonna play a game.
Is that the phone with the antenna?
No, it's before that. So at one point, phones only were on walls.
Oh, the little LAN thingy.
Yeah, and it was. We're gonna find one and bring one up here for you. Because you didn't know what a money clip was either, did you?
No.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna work.
That's a wallet.
Yes.
Wait, it's a wallet.
It's a version of a wallet. It's a version of a. Lord help her. Lord help him. So remember, share, subscribe, like. Go to tailormadelaw.com to find all of our social media, but you can definitely go to TaylorMade Conversations on Yahoo, Larry Taylor II on Instagram, and The Real Life Lawyer on everything else, and that's life with a Y. So thank you for joining us, and
bye, y'all. Wait.
Do the thing.
Wait.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm Keinya. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.
No. That's crazy. I don't do that.
Period.